all the politicians them. Sure, inna your face them a smile up. Behind your back of money them a pile up. Try to start your business and them quick for spoil up. Hey, well done, Mr. Politician Man.
In terms of the management of the artists, we normally ask business people what you had hoped you had known at that time to what you know now. Give us an idea what were the first steps that you took in order to manage an artist, because there are different artists, and you know I know Kabaka, and he's a disciplined kind of youth, but then you have some artists out there with undisciplined and kind of unruly. And how do you manage an artist in terms of booking studio time, booking appearances, booking tours, how do you create that schedule, and what kind of systems you put in place?
Well, alright. In managing an artist, the first thing you have to know what's the talent that you're managing. You know, who is this person? What about them makes them a worthwhile venture? You know, a worthwhile partnership, I should say, even more than a venture. You know, so you have to factor that into how you approach the management. Also, what's the vision? So you might have an artist that their dream is Grammy and Billboard and you might have other artists that their dream is more being able to earn from them art form and create the music they want to create. So you have to essentially, yeah, I mean,
one thing, not necessarily appeal to a fan base.
Yeah, you know,
and whoever like it, like it.
Exactly, you know, so you have to understand who and what you're managing and kind of work with them to realize their vision, and if they don't have a vision, help them to formulate a vision that both of you share.
Right, so in doing all
that's
that,
the first step.
In doing all that, what is it that you wish you knew, that you know now, that you wish you knew before you started? Like, what kind of insight you have now, given the experience and what you have gone through with other persons? What is it, like, what would be the essential skill to be a manager?
Well, all right. First thing, management, especially in the creative industries, it's managing personalities.
That's so in every industry.
Yeah, that's
I'm telling you, every industry.
Yeah. But more so, cause creatives are they're different, you know. They don't really necessarily operate 1, 2, 3, 4. They operate 1, 7, 33, 2, you know. So you have to be able to manage personalities and understand how you manage personalities.
So it's called human resource management. Well, it just carry that. I think you know the technical terms.
No, man, I want
what's that very real thing?
Yeah, I want to make these connections as well to the proper business principles, you know.
Cool.
Another thing I think it would be good to know at the time is the creative industry is a very fluid industry. You know. Alright, so I'm coming from engineering, where
structure,
everything is structured. You know, alright, the client wants to build a building. You know, the architect draws the building. I come in and put in my infrastructure, and everything works. You know, the creatives are not necessarily like that. You know, they go studio when they feel like.
I want the building, and I want the building to float and dance to the music.
Yeah, exactly. Same way, so you know. So you know, timelines are very fluid, and you have to be able to work with that. You can't stay in a rigid structure. You know.
But then even in your mind, so even a top-notch artist, the timelines just flow. They like them on a level of.
Yeah, at the end of the day, example. Say for instance, we want to release an album at the end of this year, right? What you're counting on, you know, is that the artist writes and records 10, 15 great songs in time for you to formulate a plan around these songs to release them. You don't know when the inspiration will hit them. You don't know if the inspiration going to be matching the plan. You know, you kind of have to work with the flow. The artist might write a hit song tomorrow night or tonight, and the song is relevant now, so it's go time now. Whatever you're planning for next week maybe needs to shift, and you now need to get going with this plan now, because it's creative, it's very fluid, as I was saying. You know what I mean? So that is something going in. I knew it maybe, but I never really understood it.
you know, sometimes I wonder if the label pressure the artist, and then sometimes as a business person, I look and say, how can I not pressure the artist?
Yeah, because
you have money, you're spending money, you're writing budgets and you're going and you're
Exactly.
coming out already, and you're bootstrapping same time and you're making money. So how you manage that?
but
that must be very interesting for you guys.
And what I want to add to that, that's a very important point, Jay, because supposingly that his label was not, because they're independent pretty much mostly.
Yeah, man, it's
So it's Kabaka, it's Bebble Rock. Suppose they had Jive, suppose they had Sony to talk to. How would they treat you differently than, because you are able to, is it easier for you to self-manage yourself?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going into the conversation about independent versus signed to a big label, there are many pros and cons. You know, when you're young, you kind of tend to be like, oh, we want to be independent and do everything ourselves. And control is a beautiful thing. To have creative control, to have control over your timing and all that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, you know, resources is a requirement. You know, as with any business.
Right.
And a major label being signed to a major label brings in those resources, but it also brings in the pressure. It also, you give away a certain level of creative control, you know, and
Deadlines.
your schedule, deadlines, but also if you sign to a major label, say for instance, reggae music may not be on the cards right now. Reggae music maybe next year, and you have to bide your time now. So there's a lot of pros and cons with that whole conversation. But definitely, certainly, being an independent label at that time allowed us the freedom to kind of plan our journey and go with the speed that we needed to. But then there were the challenges that we needed, resources, experience as well. Because we're doing this, it's not like we have some elder mentoring us right through. You know, we're learning this along the way.
So you have no kind of mentor?
I mean, we had people that we could draw on for certain knowledge.
Yeah,
but there was no real mentor like at least like not that time.
But then the question you have to ask yourself now, what is a real mentor? What's the expectation? Because from a person is available and a resource, you know, whether you believe it or not, you know, whether in music, business or whatever, that is a good mentor.
No, for sure.
And
there are a lot of people that we got certain knowledge and perspective from, especially in the mid part of the cycle. Not so much the early part, but the mid part, people like Jamaica and people definitely, you know. So, but it's not like someone came to us and said, all right, this is a tour budget. This is how it looks. This is the process of booking. This is, you know, that's not what happened. You know, we figured out for ourselves. You know, we are looking on flyers of established artists and like, all right, this is the venue that they did when they went to San Francisco. Then, okay, they went down here, San Jose. Okay, and we're like, okay, this is the venues. Let's go on these venue websites. What's the email addresses? All right, let's contact these people and plan our own tour. That it was very much a self-sufficient operation.
I like that.
Yeah, so don't want to miss this point though. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is what sets you apart from everybody else who claimed they wanted to go into music.
Yeah,
the fact that you actually took the time, went through the process, did your research, because doing research is a big part of any financial process.
And making calls.
I'm making the calls. Sometimes people feel like they're just going to build a rhythm and one thing on it, drop on the internet. Oh, I'm a manager now. And I'm an artist. Fire, I'm on fire.
But what I will say though, and it's something that I have come to learn, them things that happen. Music is like that. You could write a song now, and
boost me now. Poison him. But
that's the beauty of the industry. You could write a song now, and for whatever reason, people resonate with that song, and that song gone, and all of a sudden you have a career. What you do after that now is where the difference comes into play. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, you can enter the business fast if you find the right song or the right opportunity. But people rise and fall very quickly in this business without the infrastructure. Unfortunately, Kabaka was an artist that work with the vibes. You know what I mean? He must see the vision, he must work with the thing, You know what I mean? It's not like
So buying to the vision or like the company.
he was a part of the
He
vision.
was a part of the vision. That's what I'm saying. I think that's the next important point. That he's a part of the
People
vision.
need some kind of equity sometimes. in terms of
To show.
some level of ownership on the whole idea of the company.
Yeah, and it's not, equity don't have to be money. I mean, at the end of the day, the
No, that's
artist
exactly what it
is
means. So some
Yeah.
kind of equity,
Yeah.
some kind
Fair
of
enough.
buying to the idea of this is
Certain.
our idea, not just, you know?
certain.
Duane, how did you get involved with Ghetto Youth International? How did that come
Alright,
up?
so Ghetto Youth International, for those who don't know, is the label owned by Stephen, Damian, and Julio Marley.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they have had that label since 2002. So that's the Marley Brothers, you know what I mean? And they put out their music and music of people they're partnering with under that label.
So when what year did you start that?
So I mean,
That
Ghetto Youth
contest?
officially, like on the books or whatever you want to call it, it would have been from early last year. But my involvement with Ghetto Youth started through working with Kabaka. So,
yeah, because didn't Damian produce his?
yes, so
last
Kabaka's debut album, which was released in 2018, was produced by Damian Marley, executive produced by Damian Marley. It was a partnership between Bebble Rock and Ghetto Youth International.
Oh.
And essentially the experience of working together, myself, Abe, Kabaka, Damian, it was very much a synergy. You know what I mean? So it just made sense. And Damian and other projects working on nothing with a need. You know, people who can count on and bring certain things to the table. So that is where that relationship started, you know. But Well Done, you know, which is one of Kabaka's biggest songs, was the first time we worked with Damian. That was 2015. You know, so from then the relationship kind of developed. Damian got to understand how we work, you know, watch from afar, see what we're doing, see the development of the brand of Bebble, of Kabaka, and everything like that. And yeah,
But come on, that's literally an international label, brother. When you think of it.
yeah. Well, that is it, you know. I mean, many artists on Ghetto Youth International, Third World, you know, Christopher Ellis, which is Anton Ellis' son. You know, Wayne Marshall's last album was Ghetto Youth as well. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay.